Hey everyone, it is Kong here with a funny little Freekong content update that I wanted to share with you. This is Freekong's odd little cobbled together team versus Odin. Now you can see me resetting here because one of the things I need at the start of this battle is I need Melania to catch a breeze off my Iris after I teleport Grenier. So if I don't get that, I'm resetting. There are a few things I need in this initial battle setup, so I will talk about those while I'm fast-forwarding through my reset attempts fishing for breeze, just because of the nature of this fight. So the strategy that I'm employing here is ultimately what I want to do is surround Odin at the start of the next turn so he can't move around and AoE my entire team to death. If I surround Odin, I can control who he's pointed at and who he hits. But once I get in there, I'm going to be taking a bunch of hits from a bunch of enemies. So I need a tank, and I need a tank who's going to be immune to debuffs, because there are cavalry units who can use Smash, or whatever that cav skill is that takes you off your guard. So we don't want that to happen. The only access Freekong has to Gospel, or debuff immunity, is Melania. So I brought Melania as one of my healers. Grenier is going to be my main tank. Melania is going to be casting Gospel on him. But the thing is, Grenier has a turn of downtime on his guard, so I also brought a backup tank, Shinpachi. Unfortunately, Shinpachi's guarding skill makes him immune to debuffs, so he does not need to be babysat by Gospel. Oh, we got a breeze that time. Okay, so I'm going to set up to go in. The reason I need that breeze is because Melania needs to be able to move far enough to be one of the walls on Odin. So Grenier is going to go stand down here. Shinpachi is going to stand up here. Melania is going to run into this spot and Gospel Grenier, so he's now on duty as my main tank. And Iris can teleport into this last spot. So now we're almost done in our formation. We have our guard, he's Gospeled, so he's immune to these smash debuffs. We have our backup tank. We have our healer in position. One nice thing about Melania is that every time one of these guards actually guards a hit, they build up a stack. And once they get to 3 stacks, they get some pre-battle healing. Which, again, this is Freekong's only source of any kind of reactive healing whatsoever. So without Tiaris, without Wheeler, for example. So as soon as Grenier goes up to guard now, he gets a little bit of pre-battle healing. Now, that maybe not be needed because we do have lots of just like normal, general sources of healing here as well. Okay, so the only other thing, you see me creeping through the mountains there with Gerold and Layla. They are going to slowly come down and eventually replace Iris in this formation, so they'll be able to contribute a lot more DPS. But we have to carefully creep through the mountains, because if we get too close, then Odin's going to chuck his spear up there, and we don't want that. So the only other thing worth mentioning here is these infantry units can use Roar. And it's one thing to be immune to debuffs that will take you off your guard, but it is possible for Grenier to have his guard roared off. So that's one of the reasons Shinpachi is also here, is that hopefully if that happens, it'll be a turn where Shinpachi also has his guard skill available. There's basically like one turn of perfect overlap for Odin and his minions, where if Shinpachi's guard skill is not available and they manage to somehow roar Grenier's guard skill off, then the rest of my units will be vulnerable. And obviously if it's like Iris and Melania, those are some nice juicy targets, right? Okay, so Iris does not have her teleport skill up yet, so she can't port Gerold and Layla down into the action. So that's going to have to happen next turn. But you can see that basically what I'm doing with my rotation down here is I'm popping Gren's guard when he has it up, and when Grenier pops his guard, Melania also has her Gospel available, so she's wearing Jugler plushie, obviously, and she gets Grenier Gospeled up right in time. See, we just dodged a roar there. Grenier's still guarding. Melania also has I think it's Ulver's staff. This increases Odin's damage received, so she basically melee crunches him because she doesn't want to get out of position. That helps the rest of the team do a little bit more damage on the rare occasions that we do have to straight out attack. Now, Gerold and Layla is into the action. They are OP damage dealers. They can move. See, now, I positioned my Iris wrong there. I put her in the same 3 lines as Shinpachi, so I'm actually going to rewind this. Because that initial burst of AoE wasn't the worst thing in the world, but Odin's follow-up is going to be really destructive. So I can just put Iris here instead. That was a little bit sloppy, but mainly to demonstrate the positioning. You want to just stay out of any kind of 3-line in any direction, which will prompt Odin to throw his spear or not, just like the good old-fashioned like Jormungandr and Nidhogg days. So yeah, with move again, Gerold and Layla is able to hop out, get a range attack in, which fully heals my entire team, and then run back into position to keep Odin hemmed in. So they're a really nice addition to this team as well. I know it's kind of a funky team to be doing this with Grenier, Shinpachi, Melania, Gerold and Layla, and Iris, but when you're Freekong, you use what you have available to you. Gerold and Layla is also sweet here because they have attack command, so they're just boosting the DPS of everyone around here. Honestly, most of the damage is going to be coming from Odin trying to attack someone and Grenier guarding it. Grenier is very good at... Well, this Freekong Grenier is like super stacked, so anyone tries to attack him, they're taking some damage. So other than that, I think you can get the feel for the rotation here. The other thing I will do in a second, I believe, is move Iris a little bit further away from this cluster. Yeah, here we go. Mainly because Odin has this thing he does every few turns where he scrambles his own units around him. And I just wanted to make extra sure that he didn't accidentally scramble like one of his cavalry units up into position where they could reach Iris and be tempted to go up there and start hunting for her. I don't know if that's 100% something they would do. Better safe than sorry, I just moved her out of range before that scramble. So Grenier pops his guard again, he gets his gospel again. Shinpachi is just able to really take care of himself. He has 2 skills that 100% heal his health. Gerold and Layla also chucking a Chiron debuff on Odin there as well. So very slowly chipping his health away here while basically keeping my team intact. Again, obviously tons and tons of sources of healing here, so I'm not super worried just about all this little chip damage, as long as no one's getting one-shot blasted by Odin. So really nice counter damage from Grenier there. And pretty much Gerold and Layla are, taking a hit there. So Grenier actually did lose his guard to a roar there, and Shinpachi does not have guard up. So we're basically going to have to eat some hits here, and either hope that we can survive, or hope that the rest of the team has enough DPS to finish Odin off. Okay, so Melania survives that hit. The rest of these infantry guys down below are all, for some reason, madly attacking into Grenier instead. I guess because he's technically a ranged unit. We lose the Gerold and Layla, which sucks for my damage output, but in terms of strategy, it's actually okay because Iris can come back down and fill their spot. So Odin thought he had a chance to get away, but not so fast. We don't need to refresh Gospel yet because Shinpachi's currently guarding. So one thing you might be thinking is that one way to avoid that roar thing from happening is to bring Melania's 2C skill that appoints a guard and sit on that for the rare occasion where Grenier loses his guard, and then you can use Melania's appointment to make him guarding again. The problem with that is basically just the skill cost loadout, because I need Gospel for sure, and I kind of feel like I need her 3C as well, because that's what passively gives Shinpachi and Grenier that pre-battle healing. But maybe I have enough healing that they don't need it. I don't know, I kind of feel like Shinpachi's taking enough damage when he guards that if he wasn't healing in advance every time, he could probably get chipped down by all these units. So I do think her 3C is necessary. So that means no appointment skill for her, which means I basically just had to roll with the RNG of whether I got hit with that roar or not. And I did. It cost me a Gerold Layla, but it did not cost me the run, because I still had Iris to come down and fill that gap. So now we're basically relying on the Grenier counterattacks to finish off this Odin, which, with Odin at 4%, looks like it is going to be pretty okay. If I want to actually attack into Odin, I have to time it against these Lancers when their guard skill is up. Because Grenier is a physical unit, so they would just tank the hit for him. Gerold and Layla didn't have to worry about that because they were magical attackers. But there we go, we get the final hit with Melania, and this battle is over, and Freekong can now summon Odin. It seemed like a lot of work and a lot of fuss for something that should be so simple. But when you don't have long-range mages to camp outside Odin's range and blast him from afar, or any other source of Gospel than Melania, I had very specific roles I needed to fill, and these were the specific pieces that could do those things. So, I don't know, I thought that was a pretty fun run. I'll see what I can record for unlocking the next god next time. Thanks for watching, everyone.